Hi guys, happy Sunday. I hope you are well. Here we go with the weekly reading then. So this is where I pull 7 cards to represent the week ahead and we see what that energy has in store for us. I always extend this reading on my YouTube, which is Microblonde Tarot. So if you're watching anywhere else, you can find the full extended version there. That is where I use a second deck to clarify, pull some oracle cards, and we really get into the details. I also offer private readings and have 2 of my own decks. If you're interested in learning tarot or to read oracle, it's a good place to start. Okay, deep breath. Let's hope it's a good one. Okay, here we go. Okay, not bad, not bad. So we start with the moon, a major arcana. So the major arcana are the more powerful messages. The moon can be taken a couple of ways. It will help when we clarify, but the moon really is about emotion, feelings. Sometimes it can be a feeling of being overwhelmed by your own emotions and kind of drowning in them, kind of pushing things down and not really facing it, because it's also about things which are hidden. Okay, so are you hiding from your true emotions, or is something being hidden from you? Sometimes it can also be about things being revealed. So in the fullness of time, things become clear, things become revealed. Okay, so when we clarify that, it will be easier to tell maybe what kind of situation that might be linked into. And it's obviously going to be slightly different for everybody, but it could be that this week, at the beginning of this week, there's some kind of revelation. Somebody opens up about how they've been feeling about something, or maybe it's a message that you need to open up about how you've been feeling about something. Okay, day 2, the 3 of Pentacles. So as you can see, 3 people here collaborating, working together to form this I don't know, art piece, I guess you would call it. So for me, the 3 of Pentacles is usually work related, but it doesn't have to be. Pentacles are about work, home, stability, but it is about collaboration, okay, working with others. So sometimes for me, if it's a work situation, it's like you're going to be asked to oversee a project. You're going to be asked to be like the leader, to help other people. So it could be that you've got an intern. It could be that there's some sort of project that you're being asked to lead, that you're being asked to support others in. It could just be that you're working on something as a team. Usually it's an indication of things going well though. So for me, it's a card of things progressing at work, collaboration, projects being completed, that kind of energy. And then on day 3, interestingly enough, we get the Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles is a very grounded energy. She really exudes this energy of success, stability, a very nurturing energy as well. The Queen of Pentacles represents somebody that people turn to for advice, that people feel that, you know, has got their life together. So it can represent success at work. It can represent abundance. So it can be that you find yourself with some spare money, that you're feeling very settled in your home, that you have some spare money to invest in your home, you know, decor or moving or something like that. But it's a sense of achievement, okay? It's a sense of achievement and success. The Queen of Pentacles, she's not worried about lack. She's living in an energy of wealth and abundance. And in that energy, there's a sense of gratitude. So sometimes there's a message, you know, to look back and be grateful for how far you've come, or what you've achieved, or the opportunities that have been kind of presented to you. Again, it can be success at work, promotion, pay rises, things like that can also be relevant. Okay, day 4, the second major arcana is the Chariot. I feel we had the Chariot last week. The Chariot represents Cancer in terms of the zodiac, so we are coming into Cancer season soon. It's progress, it's forward motion, it's momentum. Sometimes it is a reminder that you need to take hold of the reins, because on this card it's almost like the horses are running away a little bit with the coach. So sometimes it's a message about you needing to take control of your own destiny, of your own choices, of your own future. Sometimes it just represents things start to happen. You know, there's something that just starts to happen. Things start to move forward in life. And sometimes it can feel a little bit out of your control. So it depends how it, you know, how it resonates for you on that one. But it's definitely movement and progress. And it does get you to where you want to be. But sometimes it can feel a little bit chaotic. Okay, day 5, the 5 of Wands, really the only kind of challenge energy that we get this week. The 5 of Wands can be about conflict, okay? It can be about inner conflict. It can be about conflict with other people. With the fire here, it can be about anger or resentment or arguments. And other times it's just about obstacles. You know, you feel like there's an obstacle in your path, you're trying to achieve something, and you know, things just keep getting thrown in the way of it. Sometimes it's about competitiveness, you know, somebody else that is trying to reach the top of the ladder, somebody that is trying to kind of go past you in some way. But really for me, the Five of Wands is just about challenge energy, conflict, obstacles. So that's the only real kind of challenge energy we get this week, and that is day 5, which will be Friday. But obviously this is not necessarily exact day by day, it's the near future. And then day 6, we actually get the 6 of Wands. So it's interesting that on day 5, we get the 5 of Wands, followed by the 6 of Wands, because it shows a natural progression. But also the 6 of Wands is about success and victory. So if there is a challenge, an obstacle, a conflict, it will be a successful outcome. That is how I would take it, because they transition so well together. The 6 of Wands can be around recognition, success, ambitions being achieved. So it can be about sort of fame, fortune, business going very, very well, social media going very well. If it's just something like an argument or, you know, something you're fighting for, because this can be fighting for what you feel, you know, feel is right, then we get successful outcomes. So take that as you will. And then day 7, the Knight of Swords. So the Knight of Swords, he's running towards this bike. He's running on logic. Okay, the Swords energy is very much using our mind and thinking logically. So there's something about taking action towards what you want, but approaching it in a logical sense. Sometimes this is a card for the person receiving the reading, viewing the reading, about taking action. You know, it's a push. Sometimes for me, this card can represent somebody else coming in towards you, some sort of incoming action, because we sort of see them from the back, and it can, in my personal readings, represent sometimes somebody coming back into your life, or some sort of progress coming in, you know, from the outside. But it's not going to be that way for everybody. But overall, I would say this week is definitely about forward momentum, because we get the Chariot, the Knight of Swords, and the 6 of Wands. They're all about progress, success, and momentum. We've got the Pentacles energy here, which is like stability and growth, and the Moon at the beginning there with some sort of emotional revelation or emotional situation coming to sort of fullness or being revealed. And then we get that one challenge energy. So let me clarify using a second deck. If you can stick around, please do. And if not, I'll see you soon. Okay, let's clarify the week ahead. Interestingly, as I've picked this deck up, the Moon is on the bottom there. So let's see what comes out when we want to clarify the Moon. And we ask, why is it here for the week ahead? What is it representing to us? Let's have a look. 2 of Swords, Knight of Swords, the Empress. So we've got some sort of maybe situation where there's been confusion, or you haven't been able to see clearly, or make a decision sometimes. Knight of Swords, as we spoke about on day 6, is action. So there could be some sort of incoming action that helps clarify your confusion, because then we get the Empress. So this could be linked into a female energy, mother, sister, daughter, that kind of energy. It could be incoming action to reveal, you know, how another female around you or a female around you has been feeling. It could be that you are that Empress energy, that you've decided to pull back into your feminine energy. You've not been forcing, you've not been pursuing, and in turn, something kind of unfolds naturally that alleviates the confusion that you've been feeling. But there's definitely some kind of incoming action that makes things clear, that takes the blindfold off, okay? Then we get the 3 of Pentacles. So as we spoke about, this can be teamwork, collaboration. This can be you being asked to lead something or to oversee other people. Let's have a look. What is this linked into? The King of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups, and the Ace of Wands. Yeah, it's an interesting one, because the Ace of Wands is usually about passionate ideas or new ideas on the table. Then we've got Queen of Cups, so we've got a feminine energy bringing a very kind of open-hearted outlook, maybe even something to do with like healing, teaching, giving back in some way. And then the King of Pentacles could be the person that's funding it or the person that's overseeing it, because the King of Pentacles is an investment energy. So it could be that somebody's investing some kind of money or time and asking you to launch something where you're kind of giving back to others, supporting others, or using that Cups energy, which is a very empathic energy, in some way. The Ace of Wands can also represent creativity as well, so that could come into it. Okay, the Queen of Pentacles, day 3. This is a really nice energy. It's success, it's abundance, it's stability. She's not worried. She's not worried, the Queen of Pentacles. She's holding on to the Pentacle. Ace of Swords, King of Wands, Knight of Cups, Queen of Swords. Okay. So we've got King of Wands, Knight of Cups. This can actually represent a new incoming energy, often a new incoming romantic connection, actually, which is interesting because there hasn't been much else this week about romance. But the King of Wands, Knight of Cups combination could be that you've been focusing on yourself, focusing on work, money, success, and you've not really been focusing on love or romance, but it does suggest an incoming energy. King of Wands sometimes can represent partnership in a different way, but the Knight of Cups for me is definitely about romance usually. We get Queen of Swords, which makes me wonder if you have been sort of closed off to that. And then we get the Ace of Swords, which is something new. So I think there's like a new romance coming in for some of you that haven't really been looking in that direction, that have purely been focusing on yourself, which is often the way it happens. So that is an interesting clarification. Day 4, the Chariot, motion, action, progress, progression. The Chariot, 4 of Wands, 3 of Pentacles, 4 of Cups, Judgment. Okay, so 4 of Wands is celebration, positivity. Okay, it can even be celebrations like weddings, engagements, moving in together, things like that, buying a house. There could be some sort of progress for those of you that are on that sort of journey. 3 of Pentacles, again, collaboration or teamwork. But with these two together, is it an engagement? Is it a partnership in that way, coming together, becoming more solid? Judgment sometimes is really, really important conversations. Okay, it can also be resurrection energy. So it could be that something kind of begins again. Here, there's like a resurrected connection. And the 4 of Cups could be, you know, with this despondent energy, feeling sort of like let down or a little bit bored. But this shows a real shift, because this is the most powerful card out of all of these, really. Well, Judgment also, they're both majors, but this is our main card. So there's some sort of movement towards happiness and celebration. And this could be like a resurrection energy, something coming back around, an opportunity, a person. You know, if you put an offer in on a property and you didn't get it, maybe the other person's now dropped out, it comes back around again, that kind of thing. Okay, 5 of Wands is our challenge energy. What is this challenge that we might be facing in the week ahead? What is this challenge energy here? What do we get? 4 of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles, 9 of Swords. Okay, it's fear. It's some sort of fear or anxiety that looks to be linked into family or home, the 10 of Pentacles, something that you've really invested in, okay? And the 4 of Pentacles is a fear financially. So it could be that there's been some sort of financial challenge around the home or the family. But actually with the Star, because I pulled one more, the Star is positive outcomes, okay? It's like hope and healing. So if there's been a lot of arguments at home around money or finances, that is going to settle down. If it's some sort of challenge with family or arguments within the family about money, sometimes like inheritance or something like that, it does show a positive outcome. But there has been a lot of fear and anxiety and a lot of challenges to overcome to get to this point. But the outcome with the Star really couldn't be more positive. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6 of Wands. So yeah, we follow on from the 5 to the 6. The 6 is success and victory. So again, if you've been battling for what is rightfully yours, if there's been family problems, if there's been financial struggles, it looks to be successful. The 6 of Wands, the Moon, how funny, because the Moon was on the bottom when we started. The Moon is revelations or clarity. The Hanged Man, change of perspective. 4 of Swords, healing, and 8 of Wands. So yeah, you've got incoming communication. Maybe somebody that wants to heal a situation, or maybe the outcome is very healing or cathartic for you. The Hanged Man is maybe that this has been hanging in limbo for a very long time. And then the Moon is, as we said, emotions running high or things being revealed, but there's definitely communication linked in. Successful, positive communication. Okay, day 7, the Knight of Swords, running towards something. Is it you? Is it someone running towards you? Or is it you running towards something? Let's have a look. The King of Swords, it's someone running towards you. The King of Swords to me is a very masculine energy. Often someone that's taken time to reflect or think about something and then they're ready to make a decision or communicate. The Five of Pentacles, this is somebody that made you feel not prioritized or not chosen or not good enough in some way. The Hermit, this is someone that's been in no contact with you, or you've decided to go into no contact with that Hermit energy. Seven of Wands, this person's been very defensive up until now, maybe not wanting to speak, but now they've started to think a little bit more clearly about their possibilities or their options. You do get Knight of Pentacles, so it still feels that there's a cautious approach here, or I think it's a message for you to be cautious about their true sort of energy, intentions, that kind of thing. But for me, this is very much an incoming energy of somebody you've not spoken to, or somebody that's been frosty or disconnected, that finally feels that they're ready to have a conversation or to, you know, do something. Let's clarify with some Oracle. And let's see what the Oracle wants to add. Okay. Regret or sadness. Okay, that could be that incoming energy here. Feeling regretful. We've got let it go, release, and don't look back. Now, that could be a message not to give someone a second chance. It could be that you feel that something was done and you weren't looking back, but, you know, there's something more to come here. We have got eyes, so I feel like this person or somebody's sort of been watching you, wondering what you're up to, not in a not in a dangerous way, but just like trying to figure something out maybe. And then we've got new doors are opening. So there's definitely been a lot of energy this week about new opportunities. But for some of you, I do think this is a week that you're moving, because there is quite a few indications of new homes, new beginnings, investing in the home, that kind of energy. And then look, we even get full moon here 3 times. We get the moon in 3 different decks. Revelations are definitely coming this week. I think they're going to be positive. I hope they are. Let me know in the comments and have a good one.